8th, neo-Nazis chased out of Greater Cincinnati. Local residents set swastika flag ablaze. Good
Good.
for them.
I mean, it is old news in that it's a month ago, but like, could we make it not old news by repeating it a few times actually? Like, if you see a
Oh.
Confederate flag or a swastika flag, maybe just burn it. Maybe just that's the
Yeah.
correct thing to do.
Yeah, I agree. But, a group of neo-Nazis was seen on Friday hanging a banner and flags off the overpass between Evendale and Lincoln Heights. With Lincoln Heights being a historically black community, their demonstration drew counter-protests. Lincoln Heights residents yelled for them to leave and set fire to one of their flags. They took a stand against white supremacists. While the neo-Nazis were there to spread hate, Jamal Howard said that he had his own message. They jumped into a U-Haul and we pulled up on the bridge and grabbed a flag. As the people here, we burned the flag right over there, said Howard.
Yeah.
So yeah, they chased them off and burned their flag. And that is the appropriate response when you see Nazis.
Unfortunately, according to a recent briefing, Trump has said that he brought free speech back to America, whatever the fuck that means. But
you're talking about the State of the Union where he said he brought free speech back to America immediately after he kicked out a 70-some-odd-year-old senator for protesting things he was saying?
Yep. The same one where he said that bureaucrats, our unelected bureaucrats, are no longer in control of the government.
Oh, yeah.
With Elon.
With Elon standing right behind him. At least Elon was wearing a suit that time.
No, he just needs to wear a regular polo shirt and the black MAGA hat that he wears all the time now.
No, he was wearing a suit to the State of the Union. And I'm wondering if he noticed that people are making a big deal about that guy that was asking Zelensky about his suit. And then the rest of us are over here but Elon was in the Oval Office giving interviews in a t-shirt and a weird black jacket.
He's just sitting there going, I'm very, very self-conscious now.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe not.
Look, I don't trust any action that Elon takes on principle.
Elon doesn't take actions on principle. I know that's not what you said. I know.
But you know what, though? Honestly, good catch.
I've been signing petitions left and right and contacting our members of parliament about ending any contracts that our government has with Starlink. Because being the fastest satellite internet available means that he's got a lot of contracts everywhere, and it's just you know what? He has shown himself to be untrustworthy to be in charge of countries' internets, so let's not trust him with that, please.
Yeah, so the modus operandi for basically every techno-fascist right now is to take every service that should be a government service, take every service that should be just a default thing, and privatize it early, or take it away from the government and then make it a thing that they are, quote, doing better and more efficiently than the government could. So, I think we can all agree that despite it being considered a utility, it should be treated more as a necessity. The internet's not a luxury in the current day and age.
Did you mean the opposite of privatizing it? Or did I zone out at the beginning of your sentence?
I think you might have zoned out. My issue is that things like the internet right now, in the current day and age, are necessities. They are not things that one can go without.
As such, it should not be privatized. The goal of techno-fascists is to take every industry that is a necessity and privatize them as fast as possible. Now, granted, the internet's in a weird place where it's basically been that way from the get-go, but it's going to continue to be that way if you can get somebody to pop in with a bunch of proprietary shit that they can hide behind a billion legal defenses for, which Elon can do. Yeah, I feel like the something sees the means of production should apply here.
So I I agree with you that the proletariat should seize the means of production, but the question is always going to be how. Because it's a very fun chant, and as a socialist, I agree with the statement. But the method as to how we do it is what's always going to determine whether or not it's even viable as an option. And step one is almost always unionizing. Step 2 is step one can be unionizing or protesting. It can be one or the other. The point of a protest is not to get something done. The point of a protest is to give people a shared identity. And that's what a union does as well, but it gives them a consistent shared identity as opposed to a moment of pain now that hopefully they keep going forward as motivation. Prince of Atheism says how we literally eat the rich. While I do think that is a modest proposal, again, the how comes to mind. How do you plan on doing that? In an ideal world, we get enough unions to basically seize all of the power from these privatizers and these assholes so that, yes, these are technically private industries, but they are owned by the people. So it's fine. It's a very syndicalist approach to that. Unfortunately, we don't have good infrastructure for that right now. And we need to be building it.
Isn't there a petition to revoke Elon Musk's Canadian citizenship? Yeah,
Yes.
We covered that, I think, last week. I've signed that one as well.
Yeah, it's definitely one that I agree with, as well as this person is quite literally violating basically every single thing that is considered a partnership agreement between the US and Canada.
Oh, did you see the speech that Trudeau gave where he basically called Donald Trump dumb?
I saw snippets of it. I didn't see the whole speech. The part of the speech that I saw was when he said, in my years of working with Donald Trump, I have learned that you can't trust what he says, but you also have to take what he says seriously. Which sounds like
I didn't see that part, but there was a part of it where he was basically like, hey, I don't usually agree with the Washington Post, but like they were correct in this article where they said you are a smart person, but this is a really dumb thing to do. And I like the way he hedged it. Like, he didn't say, like, oh, I think you're a smart guy, but this is really dumb. He was like, the Washington Post said that you're a smart guy, but this is really dumb. So it was like
It's
really
a very
roundabout
safe way to
it was
do
a very Canadian insult. Like, you can't really find the insult, but it's there.
Yeah. You're putting it on somebody else, but you 100% mean it for you.
So Sean says, yeah, I also heard that Trudeau is placing out drones at the border. This is a bit scary in a good way. Yeah, so I am... We've come to a point in our household where we are disaster planning at the moment. Like, we are putting things in place so that if everything goes to shit and our little border town becomes a fucking war zone, that we're ready for that. Like, I don't think that's going to happen, and I really, really hope that does not happen. But I'm at a point now where it's like, I can't say that it's off the table. I can't make a good argument as to why I don't think that will actually happen. Like, I don't think it'll actually happen. I don't think it'll come to that.
Thank you for redeeming your points for an
I can't think of a good argument for why it's completely impossible that would happen.
Yeah, it's better to be prepared and never have to have the preparations than to be caught unawares. As just a general rule for
Artemis
anything.
says, I'm in the military and we were preparing for the worst. Okay, so this is a question that my partner and I both have that neither of us know the answer to. But like, when you say you're preparing for the worst, does that mean like you guys are preparing contingency plans to stop Trump from doing the harm that he's trying to do? Or what does that mean? These like,
or is it
both of us
preparing
are
to
kind of
attack
like, hey,
Canada?
we knew who he was from the first term in the presidency. we knew that if he got back again, he was going to do exactly what he has been doing. He has not been subtle about him wanting to do this. So, like, how have these powerful people in charge of the military, the CIA, the other intelligence agencies, law enforcement, the government, like, how have all these people not had some contingency plan to, like, undermine his undermining of the government?
Yeah, it's Adam Conover went into it a little bit when he said it's really agitating to hear Democrats say things like, we don't even know what options we have at this point, when
No,
they've
but you
had
knew what
all
you.
the
Yeah,
time to prepare.
yeah. It's very disheartening. Like
Like,
I still believe that if there are elections, if there are midterm elections, uh, vote for the Democrat in your area. Like that's still what I want to say. But like at this point, I'm like, okay, well, if the Democrats win, they're not going to do shit with that.
that's why I think the right thing to do right now, while yes, vote for the Democrat in your area, 100%, that is the thing you should be doing to engage in harm reduction. But what you should be doing as well is steering the Democrat in your area, and you do that by getting onto apps like Mobilize, by getting into groups on Facebook with your local party, going to a DSA chapter and seeing which person that they are backing. But basically, you need to be getting involved, not in voting. Voting's not fucking enough. You need to be actively involved in your political party. And I've been providing at the end of every video a step-by-step, unlike these are all of the ways that you can do that, because right now, you need to be having a say in what that politician is doing, because
Yeah,
the way
because wearing pink to the State of the Union address doesn't actually send a message.
no, it doesn't do anything. It's again, it's protesting. It is protesting, and protesting doesn't do protesting doesn't accomplish anything. That is not saying do not go protest. Yes, go protest, but recognize protesting is a first step. The goal of a protest is to give a set of people who would otherwise feel isolated a feeling of shared identity. Now that you have done the protest and you have met friends and coworkers and family that are all on the same page about what needs to happen, now you need to start actually going and doing things with those people, canvassing with those people, lobbying with those people, going to Congress with those people. You need to actively be doing stuff with that group. Protesting is one of the two sides of a first step to organizing. It is not the end goal.
Yeah.
And I will harp on that until people get absolutely annoyed with me.
Yeah. So back into the news about the neo-Nazis.
Yay!
The ones that aren't currently in charge of the government, although those ones are neo-Nazis as well. So they went to talk to the county sheriff's office at Evendale Police for not breaking up the neo-Nazis protest sooner, and Evendale Police said that although it was an ugly display, it wasn't unlawful and no arrests were made. It's like, and on the one hand, yeah, I agree, but on the other hand, some things should just not be allowed.
Yeah, there's a...
I feel like Nazi, like overtly Nazi events should be off the table. That's just automatically a hate crime.
It should be, but at the same time, we know that they're not going to censor that because JD Vance specifically went to Germany to say you need to
the AFD.
Well, not just that, his actual speech where he said that you all over here need to rethink your speech laws.
Yeah. And oh yeah, the group that is taking credit for the display is called the Hate Club.
Oh, whoa.
Like, they know what they are. They're not trying to hide it.
And sitting there going, oh, I guess it's a... So, whenever you're arguing with people who want to support that, like support their right to do that, just ask them, what is the result these people are looking for? What is the result that they are wanting? And ask yourself, do you want that result? If you do not want that result, would it not behoove you to actively fight against these people in some way, shape, or form? But also, cops aren't your friends. So...
No, they are not. And Dark Falcon says we need to build an IRL GI robot. I don't know what a gastrointestinal robot is.
Oh, it's GI Robot from the it's a comic series. And he is a very violently programmed anti-Nazi.
Okay. That sounds about right, but like GI robot, I'm assuming that's like GI Joe sort of thing.
It's because of when he was built in the story. He was actually built during World War II, if memory serves.
Yeah, so that's the thing. If they build him now, he's going to be like that, but pro-Nazi.
You know, fair point and terrifying and oops. Sylvie Snow says Nazis are poopy heads. They are poopy heads. They are 100% poopy heads.
They are. Suris called my editor a poopy head.
No, you said that I said they were a poopy head, and then I talked about fecal composition.
No, you agreed that you called them poopy head. We have that on recording.
We do have that on recording. You're not wrong. We have that on recording.
We weren't live for that, but it was recorded.
Which means technically, until you show that recording, you have no evidence.
Oh, okay. Don't make me stop the recording right now, because I will stop the recording. Just Piper, that'll make your job so much more difficult. Anyway, whatever. No, I'm not.
And it'll all be my fault. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I really could not do any of this without all of you. Those of you watching, and especially those of you who support me on Patreon. I wanted to go ahead and take a minute to thank all of you who do that, because with YouTube being what it is these days, I really cannot do this full time without the support from each and every one of you. Those people would be Red Joker, Purple Poundini, Jemshin, Britzkrieg, Jupe the Malignant, Michael, Ravalern, Mabbity Babbity, Astral Frontier, Tales of Atonement, Nixie Chan, Kiri Artemis, Victorian Alchemist, I'm not saying the last part of that, and you know that, Arcton Arclacier, Kiratorian, Dren Hadamata, Jordan M, John L, Lord Bleck, Smiling Game Master, and Fireshard. Thank you so very much. But since you're here, why not go ahead and try watching another one? There should be one that's on the screen right now. And if you are a patron of mine, I wanted to go ahead and thank you again for all of your support. There is still a video you could press though, if you'd like. I would appreciate it just a little bit.